Welcome everybody to the Fandom Nights podcast.
What the heck was that pose you did there? Welcome to the Fandom Nights podcast,
where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. Today we are talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Chapter 10, titled Jet.
How do you struggle with that every time?
I just have to make a conscious effort to remember.
Book 1, Chapter 1. Book 1, Chapter 2. Book 1, Chapter 2.
Yeah, I just got to think of books.
Book 1.
Anyways,
Chapter
this was
10.
released on May 6th, 2005, and has one of the lowest IMDb scores, 7.8 out of all of them that we've seen so far. So, Dustin, take us through the story.
You have nothing else you want to say?
What?
Just kidding.
I don't think so. That was the intro, right?
I know, I was joking. It's like, dude, you forgot something.
Yeah. No,
Oh, chapter! No, I'm just kidding.
for those of you who don't
your
know,
lightsabers are popping up now.
hey-o.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, chapters are episodes. So we're on episode 10.
Now you confuse me even more.
How does
I don't know. All right, Dustin.
Book 1, Chepisode 2.
episode?
Chepisode.
Episode.
So this is Book 1, Chepisode 10.
I kind of wish a show would do that.
I'm totally
Chepisode.
doing
This
that
is-
from
this
now
is-
on.
this is
gonna be
Chepisode.
Chepisode.
We should put that in the title too. Put Chepisode.
Chepisode 10. Okay.
Okay. So the episode opens, or I should say the chapter. opens
Chepisode.
up. The Chepisode opens with Momo chasing this bug. It looks like almost like a reptile bug thing again. I don't know. It looked like a,
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks scaly, I guess you could say. I don't know. And then Momo's chasing it, and then Momo gets trapped in a booby trap thing. And He gets trapped in a tree.
A what
And-
trap?
A booby trap?
A what trap? I'm 12. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, he's 8 years older than me.
It's hard to tell what kind of insect that is too, because like there's a million different insect like
right. And especially if
species
they're
out
like,
in our world, like let alone
especially like when
a
they're
mutated one.
right, mutated when they're crossbreeded too. So
Yeah.
it's not like just a. It's not just
It's
a.
It's a tree roach.
Right. It's a tree roach.
Gross.
So Aang goes and looks for Momo and then finds him in the trap. And Aang lets him out of the trap, but then also sees like these two other like monkey things stuck in traps as well. So he decides to let them out as well. And
Which I got a close. I had to pause. I like freeze frame went like frame by frame. I'm like trying to get a good glimpse of that. So it looks like it's kind of like a crossbreed between like a baboon like monkey and a dog.
okay,
Because like they do have opposable thumbs.
I did think about the
like
baboon
monkeys.
thing when I was watching it.
But yeah, they have more of like a baboon kind of like a look to them, and then have but like their snouts look more
Dog-like.
dog-like. And I'll actually
Are
bring
they
that
just
up.
more extended out kind
They're
of?
they're extended out more kind of, more like canine almost.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll actually bring that up in the
kinda
next episode too.
Creepy though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Aang is on his way to go release them up, and Sokka's like, "This is way faster," and just chucks his boomerang. And it's just kind of funny how accurate he is and hits both of the lines and sets
Yeah.
him free. And all the other times, he's kind of been super inaccurate with his
Yeah,
boomerang.
that was my first note on here. Boomerang skills, dude, with a Z.
Yeah.
Because, man,
Yeah.
skills so good. Yeah, he's been practicing, and it shows. He's been
He's-
practicing.
He's come a
He's
long
been
way
trained.
since hitting Zuko in the head with that.
Yeah.
Accidentally and luckily.
Right.
Right. He's like, oh, that's what I need to do. I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Did it wrong.
That's what we don't see on screen.
It's like
he's
he's
just been
compensating.
practicing.
Aim to the left. And then
He learned.
So then Aang slides back down, and then Sokka kind of decides that they need to pack up camp and get going. And then, interesting thing to note is that Zuko and Iroh were not in this episode at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never
They're not in
thought-
the next episode either.
Yeah, they're not either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird how they've been in every episode so far.
What? I wonder what they're doing. They're just driving around trying to find.
I think they're trying to find
They're-
the
Yeah,
They're looking
trying
for
to
the
find them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for that. Which in this episode he talks. Well, we'll get to it.
They're looking for a new pie show tile
Yeah.
and
It took a long
a
time.
telescope,
remember
a
they had-
one-eyed
One-eyed
telescope.
telescope.
Come
Yep.
on, guys.
Come on.
I just had to say one-eyed. So Sokka decides to pack up camp and get on the move, but Sokka does not want to fly in Appa because Zuko has been able to track him so much. And I think that might be why he's not in this, is because they don't use Appa to travel, so Zuko wasn't able to find him.
He can't find him because he finds him through his detective skills, and there's no clues.
See, I was thinking about that because of his detective skills. I love when he like.
We need Dark Horse. We need a graphic novel series
Detective
that's just
Zuko.
Detective Zuko. Yep. Anyways, continue.
No, I love because when they look at the traps, he's just like, no, these are Fire Nation traps. You can tell by the metalwork, and I'm like, dude, like just random like hunting traps, and you can tell by that. Like,
was that
Detective
Sokka?
Sokka?
Yeah, Sokka said that.
Sokka is like the more this series goes on, he gets better and better. Like, I don't know, it's just cool.
He does get better and better, but I put a note at the bottom. I guess I can just say it now. This episode, I feel like, is more centered around Sokka.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
it's completely
like it
his
shows
instincts.
him progressing as a leader.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think it's like at the beginning he was like, "You're not the leader," like Aang is or whatever,
and
then,
his
like,
team trusting him and his instincts, even though he's wrong sometimes.
It was just a good joke
I
at
know.
the end. Yeah, but I'll give it that.
Yeah. I wanted to count how many times they bring up his instincts in this one, but I'm like, man.
See,
I hated
Was it 3 or 4 or 5 times?
I hated that about
but it was
this
cool
episode.
that it was like
Right.
Again, you're gonna hate me about my rating, but I do like this episode a lot more than I thought I would. Going into this one, I'm like, it's that stupid jet one. And then the more I watched it, I'm like, actually, this is a pretty good one. Like, to me, before it was like a one-off, like, okay, it was just some random thing that happens with the Rufio and his gang. But near the end, I'm like, oh, okay, this is all about Sokka, like you said, and him developing as a character, and everyone else trusting him, so they all kind of, in a way, grow, which, you know how much I love that, so.
I like how you bring up, I like how you bring up Rufio, though.
Yeah.
Well, because Rufio, like, the actor, plays Zuko.
Huh.
Dante
Right.
Basco.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So even when Zuko's not in the episode, he's really in the episode. Spirit.
Hey, we want to make an episode about Rufio. Like, just...
Zuko's not going to be in it, though. Okay, Dustin, sorry. We got to get
All right,
through
get
this
out.
story.
Yeah, I'm going to start interrupting you from now on
Yeah.
when I feel like I want to.
Seriously, yeah, if you want to keep going, just blast through. Go.
Okay, so Sokka claims that he's the leader, and Kintara and him argue over who is the leader, because Sokka says he's the oldest, and, you know, he should be the leader. And Kintara's like, well, if anyone should be the leader, it should be Aang, because he's the Avatar. Mm-hmm. And Sokka's like, he's just some silly little kid. And it cuts to Aang just hanging upside down off of Appa's horn. He's like, he's right.
I love this episode because Aang is just doing his own thing, and he's just having his own fun the whole
he's just
episode.
content.
Yeah,
Just like
Sokka's, it's a Sokka story, but Aang
Right.
is just all, I don't know. We'll get to it.
He's
But
just,
it's just so funny.
He just comes across at the funniest times. He's the comedy relief of this episode.
He just says little
Yeah.
one-liners, and you're like, oh, he's just like a fun little kid.
Right. So Katara gives Sokka crap for never kissing a girl other than their grandmother. I've kissed plenty of girls. Well,
I've kissed a girl. You've just never met her. In your 22-person village?
yeah.
Right. You just never met her. Oh, so you kissed Gran?
So 10 of them are kids, 8 of them are old, and there's you and Katara.
This is really weird and unrelated. But do you remember when you were a kid and like people would ask you, "Oh, have you ever kissed a girl?" And you said yes, but in your head you're like, "It was my mom." But I think every boy has done that. Like, it's weird, but
before they've actually kissed.
right.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I've kissed a girl before. Oh really? Okay, and then
What's her name?
mom.
Oh, you just don't know her.
You just don't know.
Really, we all have the exact same class.
So they decide to go on foot and look for a camp, and they run into this Fire Nation camp that is just full of soldiers.
Because his instincts tell him, no, we can't fly.
Mm-hmm.
They're always... That's probably why, like, Zuko and Iroh aren't in this episode.
You guys see my eyebrow twitching?
Mine was doing the same thing. I don't know
What
what's
the heck?
Yeah, there's something about the house. But so his
Some ghost-
instinct.
It's haunted. Just,
Yeah, some ghost
It's
just
the
flicking
same
my
one
one.
eyebrow.
The same one is switching on me too. I don't know.
Your
Let me know if it happens to you. I don't know. Maybe it's just a Parsons thing. But his instincts did lead him correctly though, because if he wouldn't have walked, they wouldn't have saved this entire. We'll get to it, but saved this entire town.
The
So,
instincts go from being wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong, right.
to
They
being
kinda-
like super right. Like,
Well,
man,
yeah, but I'm saying
we
they
stopped.
go. They,
I feel like,
back and
realistically, they're right the entire episode. You just don't,
well,
like...
because Sokka's like, we gotta find camp.
Right.
a camp.
Oh,
they did
yeah.
find a camp. It's just the wrong camp.
Yeah.
So yeah, they decided to go on foot.
I
and they
hated
ran in.
Katara for that whole that scene, Bo, where she's just like, I don't know, let's ask Sokka's instincts, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
shut up,
Sokka's
shut up.
instincts.
I thought that was funny. I didn't
I thought
feel
it
like
was
it
funny.
was.
Yeah,
I-
Sokka's
It felt
instincts. Can
so
you
like I
carry
know
it,
she was
right?
trying to be condescending. I just
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I felt it was funny. I don't know. I didn't find any rage against it.
I thought it was funny that as soon as they run into the camp, they're like, "Run!" and they all drop their bags and take off. Like they're so ready to give up their possessions. Like in the
Right.
last episode, they lost all their possessions. This one, they're like, "Here you go, Fire Nation."
you
It's, but yeah,
So Sokka says he promises not to hurt the soldiers as a bluff, but then
Yeah.
their leader falls to the ground, and Aang is like, "Good job, Sokka. How'd you do that? Instincts." And all of a sudden, these freedom fighters come out of nowhere and like save the gang. I call them freedom fighters to begin because we don't know who they are yet.
that's what they call themselves, right?
Yeah, that's what they call themselves. But I mean, like when you don't know who they are,
Right.
like they're
Yeah.
just
Random.
rebels,
Right.
rebel scum.
That's my joke.
That's my joke.
I'm the Star Wars dude. Anyways, so
Dustin.
yeah, he copies.
He has two things of Star Wars on.
Yeah. 3 phone case
Oh,
all
boy.
times. Anyways,
I have a coffee mug.
I have 4.
I have a Batman tattoo.
Let's just keep one-upping each other.
I
right,
have
let's get to
I
the
have
story.
a life-size Sith trooper.
Do you really?
You win. You win.
Jeez.
He wins. He's the ultimate Star Wars fan. Everyone online who thinks that they're a Star Wars fan, he's the actual ultimate Star Wars fan. Anyways, back to Avatar.
Yes. So Jet just kicks the crap out of these guys like it's nothing. So I just kind of wanted to ask your take on that fight scene. I didn't really take note on every single punch and kick and everything. I just wanted to see if you guys took any notes from that scene. Anything you guys liked particularly?
This will come up later again, but I want to bring it up now. Gravity is just different in this whole series because Jet is not a bender in any way, but the way he fights is exactly how Aang was fighting. Remember that one episode where he was flipping over people and doing all this stuff, and you're like, "That's not possible." Jet, a non-bender, does it in this universe. So in universe, there's a lot of times when you can do
people are
stuff.
just
That's,
agile.
I think it's
no, I know, but later
just
on,
martial
when
arts.
Aang and Jet are fighting, they're like falling out of the trees, and they fall forever, and then Jet just goes and lands on the ground. And it's like, in reality, that would never you'd break your legs in reality. So I don't know. There's just something about bending and gravity or something in this.
There's just
episode.
something about people trying to bring real world physics into fantasy things. that
No,
I just
no,
don't
and it's an animation. I completely get that, but it makes it. I only notice it because I'm counting all the airbending times,
Right.
and I'm like, okay,
But the
Aang,
only
Aang just fell from like 20 stories onto the ground, but so he had to have airbended. But wait, Jet just did the same thing. Okay, so he didn't airbend.
Well, they did
so that's
also
why I'm
use
only
trees on the way
that's-
down to kind
right.
of
That's
slow
why
their
I'm
speed.
only counting the times when you can see or hear it on screen. But anyways, that's
Yeah.
for later. But yeah, it just was interesting. And this whole fight scene, he did amazing. But he has these little gnarly little hook things that somehow doesn't impale every single person.
Those are
he's
actual
swinging at him.
weapons, though.
Oh, I know.
Well, it's because
But-
he's so precise.
I
It
know,
doesn't impale
but
them.
it's like kind of.
He's been doing it his
freaky.
whole life.
Right, but that's
Or-
that's
I mean,
in
ever
front
since
of
the Fire
that's in
Nation
front of
killed
the
his parents.
Avatar.
Everything
What's he
changed when
doing
the
when
Fire
the
Nation
Avatar?
attacked.
What's he doing when the Avatar's not there?
Killing people.
Literally, just stabbing people's eyes out with those things. Put your eye out, kid. Okay.
So yeah, Jet like it was kind of funny. He like finishes like kicking everyone's butt, and then just immediately runs up to Katara, just
Yeah.
like this. Just
Hey.
like, what's up, girl?
just,
like, what?
just one word. Hey.
Yeah, just. It's like, come on.
You just go weak. Oh, Jet.
So Jet introduces his team to Aang and the gang, and they meet Pipsqueak, and he's like a super huge guy, and gives Aang a pat on the back and just smashes him to the ground.
I just love how he's like,
Squeak.
"You think my name is funny?" And Aang's like, "It's hilarious."
And he's just like, I know, right?
It just shows how fearless Aang is, like completely fearless.
Which, when he gets knocked to the ground and then you see his head up.
So just good fun.
And then shortly after, everyone kind of raids the Fire Nation supplies, and they find like this. They find like this explosive jelly stuff.
Yeah.
But then they
Blasting jelly.
But then they find candy jelly too.
We have blasting jelly
Yeah,
and
let's
jelly
not
candy.
mix those two up.
Let's make sure we don't make those two up. Okay.
Which is a joke, but I was hoping it would pay off later, where like they use the blasting jelly and someone's like eating it or something. I don't know, but nothing ever comes of it. I know.
So then it cuts to Jet and them about to show Aang and the gang their hideout in the trees or whatever, their tree houses. And so this is just the funniest scene in the whole thing. Jet,
I'll give you that.
Jet is sitting there holding the rope, and he's like, "Katara, grab my hand" or whatever, and like
Everything
swings around.
changes.
Everything changes.
hold
to
me.
this
Flowers
pink,
go around,
romantic
yeah.
thing. And just,
You even get that. You even
I
get
was
that
like,
like
come on.
foggy, like kind of like look around, and it's just like, all right, no, just.
Katara's like, "We need a room right now."
Also, I like how so they just had the winter solstice, right?
Yes.
Right. So here's what I'm curious about. So it's technically wintertime now, but it looks like a basic white girl's dream where it's middle of fall.
But they're still in the southern hemisphere,
I suppose.
so that's.
But I mean, like,
winter time is in the middle of summer.
pure romance. Just like, nope.
Yeah,
Fall time, leaves are falling around us.
yeah.
I find love in a rebel.
I think it's so. Jet and Katara get to the top or whatever, and the very first thing that you see is Aang's just ziplining across, like whee.
He's a great place he got here.
Yeah,
He's just having so much fun. They're talking about this serious stuff, and Aang's just zoom, 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 zoom,
it's so fun.
all over the place.
It's not the. It's like there's like 2 or 3 other times he's like ziplining
Yeah.
the shots too,
and it
It's
looks
funny.
fun. Like,
right.
and especially being
Oh,
an
yeah.
airbender, not fearing death of falling or something. Like,
Right.
great place he got here. Like, I would feel the same way.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then Jet talks about how the Fire Nation killed his family when he was 8, and I'm like,
They almost get there.
Jet starts. His family was killed when he was 8, just like Batman.
Jet
is a vigilante, just like Batman.
So the
Jet
funny thing is
the Batman in this universe.
You say that as I'm watching it last night. As soon as he said that, I literally I'm like, I'm Batman.
I know. Oh,
Which is totally unrelated.
this is a weird take on Batman. I mean, he kills people, but that's what the Batman is.
So
the DC
totally
universe.
unrelated from Avatar, but I saw this thing. It was Michael Keaton when he was filming for Homecoming with Tom Holland.
Okay.
During their fight scenes, when they were filming, he would tease Tom Holland and be like, "I'm Batman." When they're filming, he's like, "I'm Batman." But anyways, so yeah. Before what you just said happens, Sokka's like, "Nothing's braver than a guy in a treehouse," and Jet is like, "Whatever, he must have had a bad day. Don't listen to him." And Sokka just like sinks back, and then whatever you just said happened, and then Fire Nation killed his family. Katara can relate to them, and Jet gives a speech at the dinner, kind of gives off a sketchy vibe at the end. You guys remember that?
It was a lame speech, but because of the emotion, you're like, "Whoa, that was a pretty good speech."
Well-
it's kind of like when someone like gives some talk or something, or they're reading some news statement or something, and they cry. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, good job!" Like it was actually really poorly written, but they cried, so their emotion shows that it was a really good speech, and that was kind of what this one was. But his like anger and just evil nature came out. And it's like, whoa,
Right, and
okay.
and you could see that Sokka was kind of saw that sketchiness.
Yeah.
He was the first one that kind of
Right.
his instincts
his instincks. Yeah.
caught his
And-
sketchiness.
This
And-
is go ahead.
For the animation portion of it, like they did a really good job of like foreshadowing like the rest of the episode, because like when he does the whole like light heart or the first one where he's like, oh, like maybe we should just like give up and not do this, and it's like cool colors and like kind of like a little darker, but then he's like, no, we're gonna show him like we're be scared of us or whatever he says, and then like he like when he leans forward it gets so
Or they
red.
could be dead wrong, and it's like it just
Yeah,
it
it
literally
gets-
sounds like something an 8-year-old would say. Well, maybe we're not going to do anything, or they could be dead wrong. But the voice actor who played him, I don't know who it was, but man, he did a good job, because it honestly kind of sold me. Even I'm like, whoa, okay, I'll follow you.
So speaking of the voice actors, so this voice actor is like, and the whole Batman like correlation.
Uh-huh.
So this voice actor actually did the voice of Robin for Batman Brave and the Bold.
Huh. Okay.
He does Nightwing and he does Robin.
Which Robin's parents were killed when he was 8, so he's not Batman. He's Robin.
Right?
He's literally Robin, the Fire Nation.
His name's Crawford Wilson.
Okay.
So then Sokka was telling Jet that they are leaving tonight, and then Jet kind of traps him in. He's like, "But I need you for this important mission in the morning, Sokka." Mm-hmm. And so Sokka's like, "An important mission? Me?
Yeah.
Okay."
Okay.
So they wait for the next day, pretty much. So Sokka falls for it and stays. And then next we have Jet, and they are ready for the ambush. They leave in the middle of the night to go prep the dam or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Sokka wakes up and notices that or whatever, and then goes after him. Mm-hmm. And then, so then after that, it's the next morning or whatever, and Jet and his gang are up in the trees with Sokka, and they're waiting to ambush someone. Mm-hmm. And this old man just comes walking out with a cane or whatever. And Jet comes down and starts beating the crap out of this old man. And before Jet can kick him right in the face, Sokka comes with his boomerang and grabs his foot.
Yeah.
And stops him. He's like, dude, he's defenseless. He's an old
traveler.
Just leave him alone.
Like,
What is his other thing? Because he doesn't use his boomerang. He uses that club thing that he's got.
Oh, okay.
And hooks it with the.
I thought it was his boomerang.
I thought it was his boomerang.
Because he's got that thing with that club that has an orb at the end. No, there's because he's the other.
I swear he only has one thing.
He has two weapons.
I'm gonna have to look at this again. I don't know. I swear he only has one weapon. And
he has two weapons, and I will bet money on that.
Oh yeah, you still owe me $10.
Do you want to bet my money?
Yeah, you guys bet this time.
I'm not betting.
I'm not betting again.
I'm not disagreeing with
No,
you.
I know. Yeah, I think he only has one. You think
He has two.
I'm not putting.
He has two weapons.
Yeah, okay,
he has a boomerang and a club.
Okay, we'll see. For clubbing baby seals? Is that what he uses?
Probably,
honestly.
So Jet doesn't care and scares Sokka, and Jet is about to kill the man with a kick to the skull.
Side note: they're not betting with me because they know I'm right.
Yeah, I put it. He stops with his boomerang because that's what I thought I saw.
Did the hat come into play yet? Where Katara?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, keep going.
So Jet tries to manipulate Sokka, but doesn't work with using his dead mom kind of as bait, kind of.
Don't you remember that your mother died
from the Fire Nation?
Which is pretty intense because
Think about Martha.
Come on, Batman. Jeez, why'd you say that name?
So it cuts back to camp, and Aang is still ziplining and having fun. Aang discovers these. What I call just poppets. Remember the poppets?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gives them to Momo. Momo starts throwing them in his face. He's like,
quit it.
Stop, Momo, quit it.
I like how he throws one, and then Momo's just out of nowhere grabs the whole handful.
Next we have is Katara confronts Sokka, and Sokka informs him that Jet is a thug, and Katara wants to hear Jet out, so they go confront him. And Jet says that they found a knife on the old man that was filled with poison, and Sokka had saved his life. And Sokka's like, I didn't see any knife on him.
Right, which is so manipulative. Obviously I didn't see it either. He didn't have a knife. It's just some random thing where he's like...
They even, take the stuff out of the old man's bag.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
So I think it's Jet's knife, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he planted it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the old man.
Oh, of course.
For sure. Yeah. I didn't think about being Jet's, but yeah. He's using it as poison.
But, the design does have a very distinct, Fire Nation kind of, look to it.
Well, I mean, how many times have they raided camps?
Right.
And,
Oh, yeah.
Ambush people.
They probably got it off that camp that they just raided.
Right.
Yeah.
There's tons of stuff there that they raided from. So Sokka didn't see any knife, like I said, and so Jet says that they need their water bending to save their town from the Fire Nation before they fall to it. And so then this is where Sokka finds them leaving in the middle of the night to go do the damn thing. I guess I already said that earlier.
To do the damn thing.
To do the damn thing! To go blow the dam. And Sokka overhears this and gets caught by Jet. Sokka finds out that Jet is, crazy about wanting to blow up...
Dude is
flood
legit
this
crazy.
town. Yeah, it's legit. He's like, I want
He's psychotic.
He's like, yeah, there's Fire Nation people there, but there's innocent people. Who cares? That's the price we gotta pay. Okay, there's another way.
Before we get to that, when they're back at the camp, Katara gets this hat that she made for Jet, And
I made a hat for
It's
him.
like the ugliest hat in the world, but she's like, I made a hat for you.
However, it looks perfect on Aang when he's wearing it.
That's the funny thing, because like Aang at that one place, he's like,
When they're talking about the knife, he's just wearing the hat.
Like a couple episodes ago, he's like, oh hey, I like your hat. What do you want for it? At this random town where they're trying to get. And then this one, Katara has this hat that she made.
Was it the same hat?
No, it's a different hat. But then she's like, I made this for Jet. And then the next scene, Aang's just wearing it randomly. And I'm like, man, Aang just loves hats. Whenever there's a hat, he's like, I want to wear that.
Yeah, it must be on my head.
Yep.
No.
Aang just loves hats. And then right before they go off to do the damn thing, it shows this shot.
Operation Damn.
It shows the shot coming down, and Appa is sleeping on the treetops. He's a 10-ton bison sleeping on a treetop. There's no way to be able to support him against Science with Chris, but he's airbending in his sleep.
So Jet goes back to Katara.
I just thought it was super cool.
Sokka apologizing and going on a stakeout.
I just thought it was super cool.
I know, but you're bringing real world physics, which
we need to have a segment in this show where there's headcanon. Headcanon with Chris.
Separate show.
Okay, keep going.
Chepisode.
So Jet tells them to get the water out of the geysers and into the river so they can fill up the reservoir. And so Katara's like, well, I can't. I've never waterbended nothing that I can't see before. Mm-hmm. So her and Aang start trying to bend the water out of the geyser, and they start doing it. And Jet goes back to the reservoir to go check on it because he's got his crew like setting up all the jelly bomb stuff. And
jelly bomb.
and Aang and Katara finish up early, so they're like, Aang's like, oh, we should go back to camp. And Katara's like, no, let's go to the reservoir. We finished early. Mm-hmm. Jet wouldn't mind seeing us, like. I love Jet.
So I love Jet. He just loves hanging out with me.
Her mentality is the classic like similarity of like Nightcrawler, where it's like, oh, I've never teleported anywhere that I can't see. Mm-hmm. It's like anyone with a superpower that relies on vision, or like that they think relies on vision. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, you can manipulate water in general. Like you don't have to, or like you can teleport, or you can freeze, like whatever. Yeah. I'll firebend on the other side of this door.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
So the next shot, it cuts to Sokka getting walked by Pipsqueak and Smellerbee. And Sokka sees the traps on the ground and runs by them in hopes that they will run and get trapped on them. Sure enough, they do. And
that was smart.
Right, it was very smart.
He's learning a lot.
I forgot what the line that Sokka said. He said something funny when they both got up there. Oh, learn how to tie your knots.
Yeah, spend some time working on your knot work.
Yeah. So then Katara and Aang get to the dam and they see the jelly from the Fire Nation camp and they realize that Jet is going to blow the dam. And Jet stops Aang from gliding to them and Katara and tells Katara that he wished Sokka would have listened. Mm-hmm. And Katara like drops a tear like, what the heck did you do with Sokka? Like my brother. And then she like water bends Jet away and that's kind of like where I put the Aang and Jet's fight.
Yeah. So right before that, when waterbenders cry, are they waterbending?
No.
Anyways.
When you poop, are you poop bending?
No, it's Katara specifically. She's hope bending.
But yeah, this fight was awesome.
I'm curious. So during this fight, I did not see. So like he did not take his hands off of his weapons. Mm-hmm. So like
he swung the other one around.
Yeah.
Okay, but so like I'm curious how he like because I didn't even see him do it. How did he like take Aang's glider and then hook it onto his back without taking his hands off? Because like it sticks to his back throughout most of the fight.
How does the staff stick to Aang's back?
I don't think it does.
Okay. Have you watched the intro?
Well, he's like holding it though. I was gonna say,
okay. I don't remember it sticking to his back.
Because like he's holding it, but I'm saying like
he's constantly.
But I'm saying like without using your hands, like how do you like swing that around, especially without stabbing yourself?
Well, it's like using a hockey stick and picking up another stick. Yeah. Like you get the center point and then you flick it up.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to like lock it, but to lock it in place on your back.
He's got a strap or something.
Dude, it's his hook strap.
Making things way more difficult than to be.
That's the whole point. I love diving into this stuff.
Oh, I hate it. Makes me want to go do my own channel again. Anyways, so what was your take on the fight, though, Chris?
again, like I was saying, it opened my eyes to what just regular humans can do, or is possible for a human to do in this universe. Again, bringing the real world stuff into, but it's like, okay, so this is partially animation and partially like humans are able to fall here. They're able to, because Aang is like running, he's jumping, and Jet's following him like right on point, and it because I've been slowly going through Legend of Korra. And how, like, the humans and the chi blockers and stuff are able to do these crazy things to the benders. It's like, if you were a bender, you'd instantly be able to incapacitate, like, armies, you'd think, if you're good enough. But, like, these humans can keep up with them. It's like, man, we got some resilient humans in this universe. Right. So, that was my takeaway. But what was your takeaway?
I think agility.
Agility?
Is
very,
absolutely. Important to fighting benders.
Yeah.
If you look at anyone that's ever fought benders, that's a non-bender, and like succeeded.
Oh yeah,
they're just
super agile.
Chi blockers,
Chi blockers. Ty Lee.
Ty Lee is a different story.
She's a superhero.
She's literally a superhero.
She's like no,
like she jumps like a Jedi.
Well, so does
she
so
just like
does May
sits
though,
in the
like...
air and stuff like that. I mean, no, but especially Ty Lee though. I mean, May does too. Kind of, she kind of like floats in the air like a witch with her weird wardrobe that she's got going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like. I've heard a lot of theories that like Ty Lee is an airbender and stuff like that too, or like has an airbender descent. Or whatever.
I've seen those too. Yeah,
I could see the the credibility of that, but like I think just the fact that she's trained,
agile.
Yeah, she's so agile.
So
she's literally a tightrope walker.
Yeah.
I thought the coolest shot throughout the whole fight though was when Aang and Jet kind of just go right above the tree line for just a second.
That was really
cool. And then go back down.
Yeah.
I thought that was the coolest.
It's like
shot of it. So
yeah, it's just really cool.
and I also wanted to put. Sorry, go ahead.
No, my favorite part of that fight is seeing the versatility of his weapons. Because like when he fall or like when Aang like airbends up and like. He's trying to like reach him. You see him just like clawing up a tree.
They climb so high because there's one scene where they're falling
super fast.
They're falling forever, and like they had to climb that high. You
right?
don't see that, but it's just I don't know. It's just crazy.
Right. The one thing that I thought was funny is that, or not funny, but weird was that Aang's airbending didn't really seem to work against Jet a whole lot. It seemed like Jet could kind of go through the airbending a lot.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Right.
Which some of it was him just like hanging onto the tree.
I know, but there's a couple of times where he didn't use those spikes and he's just
standing on a branch.
When you see like his master airbending abilities where he's just standing there with that huge like wind tunnel like spiraling, just stands there.
Yeah.
It's just like
whereas other people he can like he can hit a stick on the ground. Other things, he can hit a stick on the ground and it blows like an army away.
You can get
I know,
but on this one, maybe he was like holding back or something, or maybe he just liked him, or I don't know.
Who, Aang?
Yeah, like why wouldn't he have flown off the tree? But maybe I don't know.
So I mean, like I pretty sure this is a spoiler, but like when because you see like throughout the series where Aang like moves an entire like Fire Nation tank.
Right.
With airbending.
Right. And he can't blow one random dude off a tree.
I know.
What? He has to be holding back or something.
Maybe.
Or
just a person.
Jet has like spike shoes.
Remember, he even says, "Jet, I'm not going to attack you. I'll keep you away from me, but I'm not going to attack you."
Oh, he does say that.
He does.
So he is holding
He says,
back.
"Jet, I'm not going to attack you."
Yeah.
And Jet's like, "Well, I'll make you." Like,
right.
So
he's just trying to scare him off a little bit.
He's trying to dodge
so
and evade. That's all he's doing. But
interesting.
That's my take from it.
Yeah.
There's a whole Batman Joker thing going on right there. I'm not going to kill you.
I don't have to save you.
So it ends with Katara kind of... Because Jet almost looked like he's going to get the upper hand on Aang because he hits him against the branch and falls down. And then Katara just like water bends him against the tree. And then freezes him to the tree with like... It didn't even seem like there was water on the ground next to him. It almost looked like she created the water, like sucked the water from the ground.
Well, she like drenched him, and then he like walked away in his little.
Yeah.
But like, that's not that much water. If I just got out of the shower and you freezed all the water on my body, like it wouldn't make me not move.
You could still break
yeah.
out. Yeah.
But she's getting better at waterbending.
So then the dam blows, like right after that.
The dam what blows?
And the village goes up in a flood, and Katara and Aang thought they were too late. You guys are like bigger kids than I am.
I know.
So then they thought they were too late, but Sokka comes in on Appa and tells them that they warned the village and they escaped with no problem. And then Jet was super pissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird because they set up this thing where like, oh, the whole city died, and then literally 2 seconds later, actually, I saved them all. It's like, why did you even set it up to? It was cool though. I like how they make you think.
Of emotions.
Right, they make you think one thing and then they fix it.
Right, so when the city like floods, the first thing that popped into my head, because they show that's
I was like, where's Noah's Ark?
well, they show that part where it's like the city gate with like all the water flowing towards them, and my first thought was, how is the wave possibly that high?
Yeah.
And my second thought was, I don't know if you guys caught this, but there was a couple stands next to the buildings, and one of them was a cabbage stand that actually just gets like swept away.
There's a cabbage stand?
Yeah.
I wonder if the cabbage guy's in the background.
I literally was thinking like, my cabbages!
I didn't see the cabbage man.
I did not either.
I didn't see the cabbage man, just his
been part of the
cabbages.
people that got
That'd
evacuated.
be awesome if there was just like one random head, like, oh, it's a cabbage man in the background.
I'm sure if it's a mention of cabbages or showing of cabbages, it's gotta be the cabbage man. I'm sure that's the creators like,
Yeah.
Right?
cabbage man.
Good
So
catch.
yeah, Sokka tells them it wasn't easy convincing them, but the old man that Jet had like almost
Which
kicked
is
to
cool.
death
That
had
is cool.
convinced the whole village to evacuate in time. So I thought that was awesome. And what's crazy is that like you'd think like there was Fire Nation soldiers there too. I thought, right, in that village.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's why Jet wanted to attack it. So why didn't they take Sokka with? Like they totally just gave him a free pass. I guess.
Well, because that's what Sokka was saying, that they thought he was a spy.
Right.
And the old man was like, no, he's not a spy. Like,
Yeah.
I know, but you still feel like, wouldn't you? If you were the Fire Nation soldiers, wouldn't you be like, who are you then?
They also probably didn't have enough time. I mean, I could totally see how you'd go in there. You guys, there's going to be a flood. And the old man's like, actually, he's right. You should probably trust him. And then they're like, okay, we're going to take you, but we're just going to go, all of us stand up on this hill really quick. And then all of a sudden the city floods and like, whoa, kid, you were right.
Well, it's almost like you going up to police officers like, hey, there's going to be a group of thugs here that are going to come shoot you guys in 10 minutes. But I'm the only one who can actually tell you if they're coming or not or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we'll stay here so that we know you're telling the truth or we're going to think you're part of it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
Oh, because he did leave. They did let him leave. That is weird. Yeah. Anyways.
well, like when he shows back up, which I think might be part of the reason why he got away, was because when he shows back up, and he's like, no, I actually told like the village and got them out just in time. Like he's with Appa.
Exactly.
You think like Appa just like went down, picked him up, and
Pick who up?
Sokka? So like instead of him like,
probably.
because like him being like still held by the Fire Nation, like in that from that like all the villagers.
Oh, yeah.
You think
Appa
Appa's
probably-
just like, no, well, we'll just get you out of here.
Appa probably kind of picked him up, yeah.
Yeah. Seems like him and Appa are getting a better relationship.
Budding relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at the end of this, when he's talking to Jet and all that stuff, they leave, and he just goes, Appa, yip, yip.
He says it so matter.
He's just so, like, and I put on my notes, yip, period, and I just fly away.
That's fine. Yeah, so Jet tried to plead with Katara, and she was kind of heartbroken by everything that just happened, and she was like, screw that. Peace out, bro. So Katara was like, how did you know to go to the village? Your instincts? And he says, hey, they're right sometimes. And Aang's like, so you know you're flying the wrong way. He's like, and they're wrong sometimes. And then it ends with them flying in the distance. It's
Yeah. It's good. A whole show about Sokka's instincts. Which, it shows, it's completely about Sokka, but it shows him growing. Aang grows in a way because he realizes, oh, not all these freedom fighters are good people.
Right.
Right.
Katara grows because she has to face a person who went through exactly what she went through. His parents got killed, her parents got killed, and she realizes that, okay, we're not going to be like you. We're going to be...
Yeah, it's essentially, you're meeting the same
Right.
people, but they went the other direction. You're no
Right.
better than the Fire Nation at this point, and we're the good guys, essentially.
Yeah.
And it kind of like gives her a sense of like, I should probably trust Sokka a little bit more.
Yeah, it makes them grow closer together.
Right.
And so that's what I'm saying. It was a one-off, just dumb episode to me, but now looking at it more in depth like we are, I'm like, this is actually a pretty good one.
Right.
So I'm going to... Yeah. Anyways.
That's all I got for that. So.
creatures. What we kind of talked about those monkey dog things.
And the random insect thing.
There wasn't any wise sayings at all, really.
Yeah.
Iroh wasn't in it, so.
Yeah, I guess Ira wasn't in it. Bending numbers. There was 14 times that they water bended, and that's with Aang and Katara. There was more off screen because they did a bunch of those geyser things, but it showed them do the one geyser. That was both of them bending, and then it showed them do I think one, maybe two other ones. So I counted those, but I didn't count all the other geysers that just popped up off screen. 0 of Earth. Again, Earth is just way behind on this stuff. Fire. One instance of firebending. It was that one firebending dude who shot that one when they first came into the camp.
That's what I thought.
And when that whole attack was going on, no one else firebended, and they all had weapons in their hands. That one dude didn't.
I told you.
Again, if they have weapons in their hands...
Although he didn't have a mask on, he did have an eye patch.
But he was also eating, or he caught him off guard, I guess, because they were... So, it was just interesting that, again, you'd think that if all these outlaws were coming and attacking, all the Fire Nation benders would just be attacking and they'd take them out easily.
No.
But, no, there's only one firebender in there, and he was taken out instantly.
So maybe, let me get this, maybe firebenders hold a higher rank than people that are non-benders.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, like, a firebender is like, I don't even know all the ranks, but let's say it's just like sergeant, and they have a team of, non-firebender soldiers.
Yeah. So if you're a firebender, you're instantly like a captain or something, and you have a troop.
You're instantly control of other men.
Yeah. So whenever we're on like Zuko's ship or something, there's like, okay, here's all the firebenders, and they all have their own individual little group. Maybe, I don't know. That's different because it's Zuko, but
Yeah, because he's not really Fire Nation.
So 14 water, 0 earth, 1 fire, and 16 of airbending.
It was a very which for the amount of like bending that is in this. I'm kind of surprised at how little there was for this episode.
There wasn't that much in this episode.
I was actually surprised there was that much.
And a lot of it was like, you'd think there'd be more airbending, especially with them jumping around the trees and stuff, but I'm like...
Aang is just naturally agile.
Yeah, and Jet is doing the exact same things that Aang is doing.
They're just naturally agile.
So it's just...
I mean, you gotta think, like, he's probably had, like, anywhere from 7 to 10 years of, like, training.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say too that I think Jet is like around 20, 21 years old because he's taller than Sokka, and I think he just appears older than Sokka. Sokka's 17.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the quotes for this too, by the way. So for the wise sayings, I think one of the wisest things was said by Sokka because when he looks at Jet and he specifically says, "You became the traitor when you stopped protecting innocent people." I'm like, that just like you're a leader now. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's
Good
your
job,
gold
Sokka.
star.
Yep, you got a gold star for this episode.
For this one.
All right. Let's rate it. Dustin, what would you rate this episode?
I did a 7.5.
7.5. Solid. Okay. Any reasons why, or no,
it wasn't the best episode. It wasn't the worst episode. And I guess I have little notes about it.
Yeah.
So the reason why for that rating is I just thought there was good character development with Sokka, really. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or else I probably would have gave it lower.
Oh, yeah. Sherman?
You know, personally, I'm going to give it a 7.2. And the reason for that is throughout the entire series, I hate Jet. Like, he's such a stereotypical, like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you see him a few times.
Okay.
But, like, every time he's on, I'm just like, this guy again. Because, like, this episode, like, just shows, like, he's such a stereotypical, like...
He's just a con artist. So
he's a con artist. He's, like... Yeah.
He's always got an agenda that's something that you don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, we get it. Your parents were killed, like... Everybody's fucking parents were killed at like some point in this time.
Language.
Sorry.
Chris said, like, whoa.
I'm a family. When I upload YouTube, it says not for kids, but that doesn't mean
PG-13 allows one swear word.
Well, there you go. Or PG-13.
There we go.
So I'm just saying, like,
folks.
I've never been a huge fan of Jet. So like every time I see him, I'm just like, this guy again.
I don't like him, but this episode just really showed the team coming together and trusting each other more. definitely a Sokka episode, which sometimes if there's a minor character and you're watching some TV series, like, oh, great, this is a Millhouse episode or something like that. You're like, this is gonna suck. But this one with I just saw Simpsons on the wall. There's like, but
I was looking for it.
yeah, but with this one, Sokka, oh great, this is a Sokka episode, but it wasn't really.
Feel
It was,
like it, though.
yeah, it was like everyone, and it was good because Sokka actually in this episode is a really good character. He has been a good character, but he's becoming more interesting because of episodes like this.
Right.
So, because of that, I was going to give it an 8.2, like a low
What?
B, because it...
Oh my gosh!
If I had to rate this like on a grading system, I would give this a solid B. But probably a little bit of a low B. So in that
Like
case,
a B minus?
Yeah, so I have to kind of give it an 8.2. I wouldn't give it a C. It's not just a barely passable
if there's any
episode.
jobs out there that require for like film critique,
Dude, no.
do not hire Chris Parsons. Do not. I am a.
If you need a maintenance guy.
I am the opposite of a reference.
I was after this week though. I'm gonna try to kind of develop a better system of grading.
Yes.
Like how good was the bending? What was the story? And have all these different categories, and then I can.
We need
get my
to
actual
all
grading
come
system.
into agreement of all these categories.
Yeah,
And
let's
then,
talk about that after. But
yes.
and then we can be a little more solid because right now I'm literally just firing from the hip. I'm like, oh, that's about a B. So, but then looking back on it, that one episode, the Winter Solstice 1 or whatever, I'm like, actually, that was probably a better episode than I thought it was. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, bud. Okay.
Yeah, bud. And thank you guys for watching today's episode on Book 1, Chapter 10, Jet.
Chepisode.
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Yes, we're calling them Chepisodes. This is our walkthrough of Episode 10, of Chepisode 10.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to check us out and become a Fandom Knight on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And subscribe. And tell everyone to subscribe. Please. I need this.
Well,
That was my awkward ending.
Appa.
Yep.
I was getting to that. You guys just totally cut me out.